Oh, May Day, also known as Beltane, that wonderful holiday where we jump over campfires to promote fertility and we dance around the maypole, which is a symbol of masculine energy. Uh, Beltane is all about fertility and the goddess and the god coming together and having babies, right? Yes and no. So let's talk about the holiday Beltane, also known as a pagan Sabbat. It's one of the quarter holidays. It is a Celtic inspired festival. And if we talk about the quarter holidays, Beltane is actually opposite Samhain. And so Samhain and Beltane, I think, have a similar kind of energy. They're both fire festivals, though the fires are definitely serving different purposes because of Wiccan influence. Beltane is often associated as the time when the goddess and the god come together and they have this incredible union, and as a result, women want to be fertile at this time of year. And this is traditionally when young women would jump over the fire either so that they could become pregnant or find a partner. And traditionally, they would go into the woods and have unions with people that they had desire for. This is part of it, but it's actually a fairly recent part of the pagan traditions, and in fact may not have even predated Christianity. There is some scholarship that claims that the maypole, the dancing around this pole with the ribbons, actually only goes back as far as perhaps the medieval era. And the medieval era was very much a time of Christianity. That's not to say it doesn't count or it doesn't matter, or that when we do these things, they aren't valid, but we do need to remember the history behind them. Often, academics want to invalidate pagan practice by saying, well, it didn't happen before Christianity, there's no proof of that, so it's not really a valid pagan practice. My response to that is, leave that to us pagans to decide what's an appropriate tradition and what isn't. Also, just because it didn't predate Christianity doesn't make it less pagan. For example, Christianity, where I am, is quite common, and I don't practice it, and I practice pagan traditions. That doesn't mean they don't count because Christianity is current. But I would love to delve more into the other aspects of Beltane, which to me are a little more interesting, and here's why. It's great to have this mythology around the goddess and the god and the union between the two, and it is a mythology. It is an abstraction of what's happening in the natural world. The sun is often associated with masculine energy, and the moon is often associated with feminine energy. The nights are getting shorter, the sun is getting stronger, and therefore the masculine energy is getting stronger. We're looking at fertility. It's all about the maiden. If we talk about that goddess cycle of maid, mother, and crone, she is very much the maiden, but she's becoming a mother. And when we come to the next pagan festival, which will be the summer solstice, she will be in full pregnancy. I don't love this narrative. To be honest, I never really did. I thought it was quite reductive and frankly rather dull. All of our popular culture is about this gender normative idea of boy gets girl, boy meets girl, all that kind of stuff. Seem to have bled into pagan traditions and made them quite normative and not very creative. Where are non-binary people in this? Where are trans people in this? Why is it that the sun is masculine and the moon is feminine? Why does energy have to have a specific gender anyway? Another reason I don't love it is because I am actually in my late 40s now, and I am not in the prime of my fertile years, and so this doesn't really apply to me. Even when I was in those years, I would have been very resentful if people just saw me as some baby making being and all I cared about was becoming fertile and being able to give birth. No, thank you very much. If it's part of your tradition to believe in that, totally fine. But I do challenge you to really think about why we have this and what the limitations might be. The more interesting aspects of Beltane for me relate to the witch as an archetype and as a cultural symbol. The day before May Day, which is the 1st of May, is sometimes called Hexennacht or Walpurgisnacht, after the Saint Walpurga. It is a Germanic tradition, And Hexennacht in the Germanic tradition was the time when the witches flew to the Burn Mountain to perform rites. They would burn bonfires all night and party and have a really fun time, and then watch the sun come up on May Day. If you want some more information about this tradition, there's some resources that I've put below. I particularly owe a debt of gratitude to Becky Bayer, who made me aware of Walpurgisnacht and Hexennacht. She is a great scholarly witch who talks a lot about those traditions, and she has 2 excellent books, all in the description. Whether you are looking at the Germanic traditions or the neo-pagan traditions, it is about light. We are celebrating light, and we are celebrating the long days. Even someone like me, I'm a Scorpio, and I am generally someone who loves cozying down and being in the dark. I can celebrate still these wonderful long days. This is a time of more productivity. So if you're not comfortable like me with the more kind of heteronormative ideas of fertility, we can at least celebrate broader fertility in terms of creative projects and activity, whether that be going in the garden and being able to spend more time outside. I'm able to use more natural light for creative pursuits. I hope that you have a wonderful Beltane that will lead you into an exciting and prosperous, however you determine that, season of summer. So in this video, I wanted to share with you something that my daughter and I started to do during COVID when we had lockdown, and that is May bags. I made these May bags out of fabric. You can also make them out of paper, and it's really just making a little cone-shaped pouch with a strap and then putting into it some small gifts. And what we did during COVID is we gave them to friends that we were not able to spend time with. We just left them on their door, or to just show gratitude to the people around us in a time that was really difficult. So have a look at this project and try and make some of your own.